It's a nice day, huh?
Yeah, very nice. Very nice.
You got the right idea with that umbrella.
Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome to Canada in February. Friendly as always. It's snowing and we're looking at a beach cruiser from the electric bike company. These guys are out of Newport Beach, so anytime I feel a little cold and dreary, I hop on one of these things and it brightens my day up. And actually it's working great. I'm not getting wet because it's got the optional fenders here, upgrades, actually wood, as well as a wood chain cover. Just looks beautiful. It ties into the grips and the saddle. Doesn't match perfectly, but it's $16.99 USD. I feel like it's a great value. I've reviewed the Model Y, which is a very similar product to this. It just has slightly larger wheels. So instead of 24-inch here, it has 26. So with that larger diameter, you end up with a lower attack angle, a little bit more air volume, some comfort. It raises the frame a little bit, so the standover height is slightly higher, the minimum saddle height. Everything's just lifted up a bit, and also the length. So the reason the Model M is so cool, which stands for mini, is that it's just more approachable. So if you're someone who's a bit petite and you feel like, yeah, I want to keep that weight low and I want to be able to stand over this thing and handle it, really solid feeling, the M is going to be a great choice for you. This is a really practical, functional basket and it makes the frame look beautiful. This is a wave step through and it's using double tube design, so it reduces frame flex. I mean, look at it. This thing is beautiful. I love this bike. I mean, it's just, you can't help but not appreciate the quality here. I mean, this is real wood. These fenders are pretty thick. They don't rattle a whole lot. They're actually working really well. They provide good coverage. Same thing with the chain cover. I actually like these more than the optional steel fenders. They're also fairly quiet, and they have some mud flaps at the bottom. Really nice, solid struts here. They aren't the ones that have the adjustable points that are poking out and can scratch you. They're curved and they're recessed really nicely. I mean, it's a fantastic piece of work that they do here. I think they do those in-house as well as the painting and stuff. So you can see that in addition to the frame and the fork, which is also steel, they've got this inner basket liner that's also blue, and then the external part that's sort of really sturdy where they've got the headlight mounted and their nice little logo up front. Now that's white, so you get this really cool look. And then back here we've got an aluminum alloy rack. It is MIK compatible, so you have some bags and things that can clip right on. But if you don't do that, they've got some little, almost, it's not really a loop, but it's a little clasp area where you could use a bungee cord and do like a basket, or just the trunk bag or the panniers, standard gauge tubing here. And then it comes with this rear light. If you don't get this rear rack, you still get these lights right here, and each one has like 3 LEDs, really bright, highly visible from multiple angles. So I guess I want to jump back in and talk a little bit about the hardware. There's so much to appreciate on these bikes, and I've looked at them several times. It feels kind of like the same bike, but each time I look, my appreciation sort of grows because of how just the choices they've made. It's tough to build a frame where the wires and stuff are routed so nicely, but still accessible. So if you need to do a repair or something, a lot of these parts are modular, and then they go internally routed right here, so they're going to stay out of the way and they give you that nice, beautiful look with the paint job and everything. We got this adjustable kickstand, and one of the big upgrades that they do just include stock are these quad piston hydraulic disc brakes with 180 millimeter rotors. I mean, that's a big rotor. Quad piston, that gives you more surface area. It's just going to give you more power for stopping, especially on 24-inch wheels. These are 3-finger levers. They got the ball end, so you know you're gonna get poked by that. You're not gonna slip off as easily. Tektro, they have motor inhibitors, so whenever you pull the brakes, not only are you giving the brake that physical stop, but you're telling the motor to cut out as well, so you won't be fighting it. And this is a powerful motor. This is a 500 watt nominal, 1000 watt peak rated MXUS planetary geared hub motor. Silver, looks nice with these 12 gauge spokes and these custom rims. And that motor puts out up to 60 Newton meters of torque. It's a nice setup, and it's quite impressive when you actually ride on this thing. You're getting a mechanical advantage, just like the disc brake is with a smaller wheel. The motor's also getting a mechanical advantage because it doesn't have to turn this really wide wheel. It's smaller. It's a good climber is what I'm trying to say. So to me, that was pretty impressive because the bike offers pedal assist and throttle. And sometimes when you start with a throttle from standstill, if you have a big wheel or a weaker motor, you're just not going to get the same kind of oomph when you get going. But this one really does a good job. And again, this is the single speed drivetrain. You don't have a derailleur hanging down that could get kicked and go out of tune over time. It's really simple. The chain doesn't even bounce around a whole lot. 170 millimeter crank arms with these nice aluminum alloy platform pedals with the rubberized tread instead of the spikes. So again, this is a little bit more casual setup. It's wide, it provides good traction, maybe not as good as spikes, but if you slip off, you're not going to cut your shin on these. And these are Well-Go, really nicely done. And then see back there's that little black thing. That is a cadence sensor. It's an internally kind of like sealed cadence sensor versus the older ones where you'd see these magnetic dots that could get coated with mud and kind of bumped out of position. That's my favorite, and most companies are using this now, but it's sealed 12 magnet, very responsive. They've done a good job on that. Coming back to the wires and stuff, you can see how they come right out of this kind of expanded seat tube right here. And then they run back here onto that rack. So if we didn't have this rack, you wouldn't have this extra wire and stuff here. You'd just have that rear fender, you'd have these lights, which to me, again, are really well done. It's nice to have lights up high, and really this is probably more ideal, but the fact that they just kind of went overboard with the lights is a good thing, and that's a nice upgrade. Really, it's nice that they do this. It comes back to sort of the custom heritage of this company. Everything they do can kind of be refined, and they'll talk to you, and they'll, you know, take your phone calls. You can sometimes talk to the CEO, Sean. He's a really good guy. He's been doing this for a long time, and they assemble a lot of this stuff right there in Newport Beach in their warehouses. They hire locally. So back to these touch points and stuff. I like how comfortable these grips are. They're locking. This seat here, pretty comfortable, you know. It's got their little branding on it and stuff. It's got the rubber bumpers. It's wide. It's a really relaxed kind of an upright seating position when you look how the handlebars come back to you, and the pedals seem a little bit further forward, so you can put your feet down, and then when you start pedaling, you just kind of lift them up like you're sitting on a lazy boy or something, and then you got that upright body position so you can spot traffic, talk to your friends, those kinds of things. You know, the suspension fork upgrade is nice. It costs a little bit more. Another upgrade you can do is the seat post. So this is a rigid seat post right here. I'm just gonna pull this out. It's about 350 millimeters long, and it's 30.4 millimeters diameter. You could replace this with a suspension seat post. It's something that I like to do a lot, get that nice comfortable, kind of a bouncy feel sometimes. But the saddle, you don't have to. I mean, that's a pretty good saddle. If you're just cruising around neighborhoods like I am, it's gonna feel really comfortable as is. And just look how low that thing goes. I mean, the way that they position the rack and everything, they're not colliding. You can get that all the way down to the bottom. Back at the side, I've listed the minimum saddle height, which is very low. It's like the lowest I've seen. So again, you can sit on this thing and easily put your feet down. Most people, even petite people, this bike's gonna be one of the most approachable. And then I asked Carolyn, I said, I love your hats, and I wonder if you want to give this thing a spin and give me your feedback.
Sure.
So let's boot it up. First of all, there's a switch down here, which is already in the on position, and that enables the battery. And then over here, you just hold the power button in the center. It's a color display, and yeah, it's a little bit wet, kind of hard to see right now. Up or down to raise or lower the assist. You got your throttle. You can go up to 5.
Okay.
And the higher you go, the more throttle you're gonna get. So the throttle's kind of limited by the level of assist. Okay, you can change that in the settings, but as is, I just wanted to give it to you. We can stow the kickstand here for you. There we go.
Lower the seat cost?
I don't know.
Yeah, you feel free to mess with it. It might need to go down a little bit. Are you?
Yeah, I think it's too tall for you. Yeah, hold on a second.
Got some teamwork happening here. Look at that. It's Valentine's Day, so you guys are out on a nice little walk, huh?
Maybe I'll get down on the road.
That's a good idea. And we got, you know, no cars or anything. Carolyn, I'm also going to enable the lights here just so we're extra safe. And to do that, we're just going to press the up button over there, and then it gives a little light icon. The headlight doesn't point where you steer, but it's still fairly visible. And there's those 2 rear lights that I really like.
Oh yeah.
There she goes.
Great, but if we went any longer...
Woohoo! She's a speedster now.
That's what I mean. Now we can go 20, 25K and there's no issue.
Good job, Carolyn. We got the cool shot here. Oh yeah. What do you think?
Oh, that's fun.
It's fun. But one of the
need goggles in this weather, but
yeah, that's right. You're probably getting snow in your face.
But I didn't
You
know
want to
so
go for it?
Well, Let me take a little spin. I just gotta raise the seat. You wanna hold the front prop?
Yeah, sure. Here, I'll help you out too. So what's your husband's name here?
Jack.
Jack. He was giving me the rundown while you were out there. Do you want me to hold? Yep. Yay, there we go. Look at that. Found a use for the basket.
If the basket doesn't go with the front. So
It doesn't, no. So they
do you
frame
mean?
mounted this
Yeah.
so that it's a little sturdier.
Yeah.
It can handle more weight. This bike can handle up to 350 pounds, which is pretty impressive.
That is.
But no, the basket doesn't turn when you turn.
Oh yeah, it's fun. Seat's comfortable.
Yeah, I was just thinking that same thing. Sometimes I recommend like a seat post suspension, but with this saddle,
Yeah.
it's pretty comfortable.
Yeah, Jack put a seat post suspension on his,
Oh yeah,
but I don't have it on mine. We just changed the seat out for a more comfy seat.
good call. Yeah, when you ride a ways, especially if you do any gravel,
Yeah.
you kind of feel it.
Yeah.
Here he goes. He's getting some higher speed. Yeah,
It was nice. And it looks nice too. It's a nice looking bike.
I like that. They do the custom colors, and so you pay a little bit extra, but then you can kind of match it to your getup. You actually matched it just perfect. Here he comes.
So they're selling it in Oregon?
They ship them all over, but they're based in Newport Beach, California.
Oh, okay.
What's the verdict?
That's a nice little bike. What's the motor on it?
This one's 500 watt
500
nominal,
watt.
and then they say it peaks at 1,000. And your rad bikes are like 750. They don't really tell you a range.
The Rad's lucky to be 500.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Well, how does it compare? You
This
got
is more powerful.
This is more powerful. Okay. Thanks for the honest feedback there. Anything else you want to disclose here? You got a lot of exposure.
The brakes? I didn't notice.
Just a little bit. I'd put the handlebars up higher because that's a nice riding position.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
They ship me the stuff. I try to give an honest feedback, and you guys have been so helpful. I really appreciate it. Thank you for doing the ride. I'm glad that guy was speeding down the street. I was a little worried.
It's okay. He's driving a Jack. He could afford it. He hit us.
He's got good brakes, right? Oh, and that's true. He's got the insurance probably.
Yeah.
Any other questions on this?
No,
nice.
it's a nice looking bike.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And this is the charger. It's actually pretty good. It's got a fuse built into one end. It's 3.5 to 4 amps, which is a lot higher than the standard 2 amp charger you get with a lot of other e-bikes. It does weigh a bit more, 1.8 pounds. It's a little bit bulkier, but at least the wall side unplugs, so it's not quite as long. Yeah, to me this is a good charger because the default is a 504 watt hour battery for the Model M, but you can upgrade and get like a 960 watt hour if you get that 20 amp hour battery pack. So get the job done, and it's a nicer upgrade. You also get this nice manual, and then there's a little toolkit with some snippers and Allen keys that help you to tighten and adjust the handlebars and stuff when you get it. But otherwise, I mean, the bike is pretty much ready to ride. And down here we've got a USB charging port, which is super cool. It's like 5 amp, full size USB Type A, so you could charge your phone or that optional Bluetooth speaker I was talking about before. It's a really nice upgrade that they've got. Not every display has something like that. So, being able to tap into it and maybe use it for GPS on your phone or the music or whatever is really fun, especially because the battery options are quite high in terms of capacity. We got the 48 volt, 10.5 amp hour standard pack right here, but you can spend a little bit more and get a 20 amp hour, and that's what gets you the 960 watt hour, just super high capacity, which is great if you are using that throttle quite a bit. It's a powerful motor, it draws from that battery, so it's nice to have some upgrade options available. And now I'm going to walk you through the display just a little bit more thoroughly than before. This bike does have an optional, it's like an alarm system. It's this wireless beeper thing, like bloop, bloop, and it's really cool. I actually tested it on some of the other reviews. You can go check them out if you want to. But I just haven't seen too many bikes that have this, and it detects if the bike's moving or not, and it's just another added level of security if you're parked at a bike rack. With the seat clamp and then the front wheel, they do have quick release, and this is just a 9mm skewer up front, 100mm hub spacing, 135 in the rear, and then we've got kind of a this is like the 12mm slotted axle with the nuts and stuff, pretty standard. The point I'm trying to make is if you're locked to a rack, make sure you're kind of locking these touch points and that front wheel if it's for an extended period of time, or get that alarm system, and it's going to send a siren and alert people that someone's doing something maybe they shouldn't. And having this double tube design is going to make it a little bit easier to lock the frame as well. So now I want to jump into the display here with you. To boot it up, first you have to click that to the on position, which is a nice little kind of a kill switch. So if you're at a bike rack, you don't want someone tampering with this, you could just turn it off down there and they might miss that. So once that's turned on, we'll hold the power button for a second here. Boots up pretty quickly. It says Electric Bike Company, and then here's our color display. It's pretty straightforward. We got 4 bars on the battery infographic, so 25% steps. It'd be nice if that was a little bit more precise. Maybe like 10 bars or an actual percentage readout. That'd be really good. And we have a voltage here, so you can, over time, you can kind of learn what the voltage mean, and as the voltage drops, you're going to see the battery capacity dropping. We got temperature outside, 39 degrees. Pedal assist, see how it says pass off? So that means we're only option to move right now is use the throttle or pedal. And with a single gear, I mean, it's going to be hard to pedal. So to change this to enable pedal assist, that's where we hold the down arrow for a second. And there we go. It disappears. Now we got pedal assist active. We're in pedal assist level 1. We can take it down to 0, and the throttle doesn't work. Nothing works. It's just a bike with a headlight. And if we want to turn on that headlight and the rear light, we just hold the up arrow for a second. And there it is. There's those really cool side lights. The blinking rear light spinning the solo. And then the headlight, which is, it's pretty nice. You know, this is like the Blaze Light BL3002. It's got a couple LEDs, nice wide beam, but it's not like you can angle it down. And again, it doesn't point where you steer because it's mounted to that basket, and that gives the basket extra strength. But it's a trade-off in terms of like the light pointing. I thought it might be kind of cool to have a light up here, but then you're kind of blocked by the basket, especially if you load it up. So I think they're doing the best they can, and the aesthetics of the basket with the battery up there is pretty good. We got current speed in miles per hour right there, and then timers, distance, odometer down here. If you want, you can cycle from the current speed by pressing that power button over here, and you'll get your average speed and your max speed. So 30.9 miles per hour. Man, that must have been Jack earlier, like cruising down one of the hills or something. It's a neat display, and there's actually a lot of adjustability in the settings, and to get to those, what you have to do is like power the bike down, power it back up, and then hold up and down simultaneously. And when you do that, you get to this menu with tons of readouts. A lot of them are just, they're kind of extraneous. I don't really feel like they were useful, but I made a guide. I created this like chart that shows which ones of these settings are probably the most useful and what the different numbers mean, and I'm hopefully doing a little overlay of that. That image is also back at the site electricbikerview.com, so you can get that and take a look, along with the length, the width, the height, all the other dimensions that I measure by hand, just to try to help you guys out and determine whether you want this one or the Model Y or some other bike. There's a comparison tool, there are forums. I'm really trying to be transparent and help you, figure out the right bike. So with that said, I'm going to exit this by holding the power button, hop on, and take my own little test ride. There we go. Now we've got pedal assist. There we go. Nice and easy. This is pedal assist level 1, so it's just kind of slow and steady. It's not going to get me going real fast. It's not offering full power. I'm going to take it up to level 3. Fenders are keeping me pretty dry. I'm gonna do a no hands test here. It's a little less stable no hands because there's more weight up there in that basket, like we keep talking about. And by the way, this is designed to be highly water resistant. So even with the snow and kind of the melting going on, we should be okay. I'm gonna go up the hill now, so take it up to 5. We'll really feel it. This is a steep hill that we're climbing. Really steep. And it is no problem. And I feel fairly comfortable, even though I'm not getting full leg extension, because my seat's a little bit low. Very nice. Go through the snow here. Oh yeah. The other unique thing about this bike is you can adjust the top speed, and I think you can raise it. So on their website, they say like 25 miles per hour. So you kind of get this like you know, almost like a class 3 electric bike. Most class 3s can go up to 28 miles per hour. 25 is still quite a bit. And it's a nice option, nice little feature that they're giving you there. Okay guys, from here you can see the motor and the drivetrain. And it's going to be pretty quiet because we don't have the derailleur and there really isn't a lot of slack in that chain. But I wanted to position you here so you can just see how quickly that motor starts and stops with that cadence sensing pedal assist. And also just listen for any rattling with the fenders, maybe the rear rack. I think it's going pretty well though. Here we go. That was in assist level 3, kind of mellow. I'm gonna take it up to assist level 5 now, see what that's like. Very quiet, even going off that curb. No problem. Let's get a different angle. Brakes are also pretty quiet, even though I'm sure they're at least a little bit damp. Pretty high quality stuff. Well guys, I think that's about it. I've had a blast on the Model M. I knew I wanted to get out in the snow and have some fun, and meeting the folks in the neighborhood is always a wonderful thing, and getting to hear their perspective. I feel like the price range here, whether you get a really custom stylish one like this, or you just get the white one, you know, there's some good value here, and the bikes are really done well, and they've really dialed in their batteries. They have some of the best sort of battery management systems that are designed to take care of these and extend the life, which again is nice since you can't really take the battery off the bike very easily in this case. So you could get a his and hers, the high step model, along with one of these step throughs. I think that's about it. I love you guys. Have fun out there. I'll do my best to answer your questions and comments, and we'll see you in the next one.